9 years ago with dementia. How did that affect you as a family? Did it sort of? It must have been hard to sort of kind of sort of relate to the dementia side of things, but also he's still your granddad, he's still your dad, he's still do you know what I mean? It must have been hard to sort of get to terms with it. And you just watching your videos on TikTok and watching his journey. It seems like you just take it in. He just takes it in stride, but you do as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, Matt. I think 9 years ago when we found out, you don't know what that next step is, and for other people sort of listening that are going through the same, I'm sure they can relate. We've been really lucky with my granddad that he was always very active and physically, even to this day, he's still extremely healthy. Obviously, mentally, that's the toughest part. But with him, it was vascular dementia to begin with, and you're kind of waiting to see, what's happened, when's that sort of next point. So more than anyone, obviously, my grandma, who's been married to him for 61 years now, I think it affected the most because he was sort of, the classic kind of man of the house and setting that example. But to him, I think the sort of the beauty and the cruelty of this disease is that he's sort of all filter's gone away. He's enjoyed life. We've always had that special bond in that moment. And I think one thing with me that I saw with him is that he's always been there for me. So I wanted to give back with him. So when you talk about me taking it in my stride, it was just like, right, don't know how long I've got with him. Let's go and enjoy those moments and enjoy that time together. And that's really come from him as well, because he's so positive with it. And when we're together, there are, of course, times, and there's been videos where he's kind of opened up and tried to explain what's going on in his head. But I think he's kind of just thought, do you know what, I'll enjoy it and sort of embrace this. And obviously music and football is in his language. So to me, I always say on the videos is that it's about being in his world and enjoying it. You don't want to try and question him, make him uncomfortable. Whoever that person is in your life, you've got to understand how they are and how they operate, and not expect them to be the person that they once were. But it's a different time, and be in their world and just enjoy those moments whilst you can.
Yeah, and I think a lot of research about dementia, about the type of dementia your granddad's got, and I think that helps because that can make you understand. That's what I sort of worked in the care industry for the last 15 years, and that's the kind of sort of, obviously I've not looked after a parent or grandparent, but I've looked after other people's grandparents and fathers and mothers that have got dementia. And I think for me, when I first started to work with people with dementia, it's all about the research you can do, and exactly right what you said. It's about getting into, like, sort of not getting into their minds, but getting into their world to sort of design, to look after them and design a package around that. And I think it's amazing what you're doing, and one of the most amazing moments that I've seen from your TikTok videos, like I said to you before we started the interview, me and my wife got in bed watching the videos, and it was part of our sort of, for a few weeks up to a month or two, it was sort of like a sort of ritual to get in bed and watch these videos, and we some of them sort of really, really touching. One of the ones that I thought was touching when you took him to the football, and he was sat in Phil Foden's box, and he's such an amazing guy, Phil Foden. If if you listen, you've ever sort of wanted to meet one footballer, that was one of the footballers that I wanted to meet, because he seemed so down to earth, and he wasn't he? When he came into the box and he met your granddad sort of like his eyes lit up. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Phil's been incredible with my granddad. He really was kind of the one player that my granddad always remembered, I think, because, like my granddad, he's a blue through and through. My granddad loved it. I think, in fact, he was homegrown, and it was one name that sort of always stayed in his head when watching the games. And then, obviously, the moment when we initially met, Bill had actually seen the video of him watching the Aston Villa game, and then it was kind of a bit of a journey. So then we got invited by Alzheimer's Society to go to the Community Shield with City and Liverpool, and we were pitchside, and I was just shouting him. And yeah, he came across and gave his shirt to my granddad, and then after that, then reached out to say, because we didn't. He thought that we had season tickets still, and said, "Oh, listen, come and watch a game." So we went to City, Nottingham Forest. Grandad loved that, and he gave him a match shirt again. And then the United game was just really unexpected. He scored a hat trick, and my granddad's face sort of lit up. I don't think he realised where he was until obviously he saw Phil afterwards. And I think one thing that they share is, as you say, he's very down to earth, Phil, but it's just a love for football. And obviously he's an incredible footballer, but also a very humble, down to earth, friendly, do anything for anyone. And you can imagine how many people would love to sort of spend time with him, and the amount of time he spent with my granddad, I'll forever be grateful for that. And again, another special moment of memory that I've shared with him, which will always be in my heart and my life.
And I suppose it's to sort of live that with your granddad. I think that probably one of the best moments, like you said, for yourself as well as your granddad. So your granddad's journey now with